Game of Thrones Season 8 will be starting in April 2019. HBO, which makes the fantasy drama series, has to reveal a specific air date as yet. Season 8 will only have 6 installments and be the shortest. April is not a massive surprise for fans because Game of Thrones premieres have traditionally been in the spring. Here is everything you need to know about Game of Thrones Season 8, including release date, cast, plot and more. Will the Game of Thrones Season 8 release date be brought forward ahead of 2019? Game of Thrones Season 8 is confirmed to be airing in April 2019 and no earlier, so fans are going to have to be patient. HBO announced via the Game of Thrones Twitter page the release month by posting a video which ended with the caption, "The final season April 2019. Season 8 still does not have a firm release date, which has left many frustrated. But there has been speculation based on HBO's 2019 schedule so far. The US network confirmed back in January 2018, send a rave on. Game of Thrones returns to HBO for its 8th and final season in 2019. HBO from Casey Bloys also revealed that Season 8 would be airing in the first half of 2019. The last ever season of Game of Thrones will premiere in the first half of 2019. HBO executive Casey Bloys saying, "I'm not going to say what to expect in the final season, through it's pretty great." He added to Deadline about the release date for Game of Thrones Season 8, saying, "Sometime in 2019. First half." However, fans still don't have a firm air date. Wilf Scolding, who plays Rhaegar Targaryen, seemed to suggest the show would be out in April 2019. The lack of firm release date has left Game of Thrones fans speculating endlessly as to when it will actually be back. Back in January, the network also revealed details about their directors and writers working on the show's last run. Show bosses have already said they want to take their time on the last season to ensure it's of the highest quality, so it will be worth the wait. A poster has even surfaced purporting to be from Season 8. One fan has claimed to Collider that this is an early version, first look at the new season. While the poster can't be verified as authentic, it seems to suggest that the show won't be back earlier. When will Game of Thrones Season 8 be released? How many episodes will be in Game of Thrones Season 8? Season 8 may have the least number of episodes, but it will have longer running times for each episode. Director David Nutter teased that each episode would be over 60 minutes long. Game of Thrones has released its first look photo from the set of the show. A preview for Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 1 has also been revealed by Entertainment Weekly, giving fans a glimpse from the set of the show. Season 8 of Game of Thrones will be the shortest in the history of the show with only 6 episodes. However, each installment will have a longer running time than the average 10-episode season. It's thought that each episode is going to be around 80 minutes, making them more like mini-movies. HBO boss Casey Bloys explained the reasons behind the extra long wait, claiming that crafting the episodes to the highest quality is what is taking so long. They take the time they need to do the show at its highest level of quality. As the show has gone on, it's gotten bigger, big battle scenes, big special effects. The top programming head told Entertainment Weekly, "These things take time. Here's the one thing I can assure you, Dan and Dave were not sitting around on a beach waiting to go back to work. They're perfectionists and this is the soonest it can come back at a level of quality that they are comfortable with." How will Game of Thrones Season 8 end? It's the million-dollar question that has left fans speculating wildly. Jon Snow star Kit Harington admitted that he was left in tears by the finale of Game of Thrones. There have also been reports that the ending for Season 8 has already been revealed. Game of Thrones fans recently got their first look at the final season when HBO released a short promo for Season 8. The trailer was full of symbolism which seemed to hint at a Lannister death after a lion was burnt by flames. Others have suggested that there were hidden symbols in the trailer that revealed the location of the final battle. One star recently suggested that nearly everyone had been led off in the epic battles in Season 8. Game of Thrones fans will be divided by the finale, according to Sansa Stark star Sophie Turner. David Nutter, who serves as one of the directors on Season 8, recently teased that not all Game of Thrones fans would be happy with the ending of the show. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau has already said that the loose ends from the show will be tied in the finale, which should come as a relief to fans. Brienne of Tarth star Gwendolyn Chrisite has spoken about the traumatic finale to the show, hinting that it's not going to end well. Is this when Game of Thrones Season 8 will return? Has filming on Game of Thrones Season 8 finished? Season 8 filming has now finished, with a number of cast members confirming the news themselves. Ian Glenn recently spoke about the script problems he faced while working on Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Following filming, it seems that Maisie Williams may have dropped a big spoiler with a social media post. Emilia Clarke confirmed she's finished her final scenes earlier this year. Joe Dempsey, who portrays Gendry, revealed that he'd only just finishing filming previously after starting in autumn last year, with security now tightening up on set. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau has also wrapped up filming, explaining that the program makers wanted to take every care to end the show as well as possible. Despite being the shortest run in the history of the program, Season 8 has taken the longest to film compared to its predecessors. There was speculation that filming finished in the summer, and actor Liam Cunningham said that the shoot would be wrapped up in the summer. On top of that, filming neared completion after an assistant director accidentally let slip that the show had just completed a mammoth 55-day shoot on a battle sequence. Filming took place in numerous locations across the world, and the inevitable post-production would take time and mean a 2018 release would be impossible. Why has Game of Thrones Season 8 taken so long to make? One reason why the show might be taking longer to film is shocking multiple endings have been filmed, which star Emilia Clarke recently revealed. Most recently, Jaime Lannister actor Nikolaj Coster-Waldau revealed a secret behind leaks and the extreme measures producers take to stop anything leaving the set. Sophie Turner also revealed that there was a lot of tight security on set, and the crew went to some shocking lengths to conceal the scripts. Game of Thrones Season 8 release date. When will Game of Thrones Season 8 air? Game of Thrones Season 8 won't be out before April next year, sadly, after a press release from HBO said the epic fantasy series Game of Thrones will return for its 6th-episode, 8th and final season in 2019. David Benioff and DB. Vice, David Nutter and Miguel Sapochnik will be the directors for the new season. Writers for the new season are David Benioff and DB. Vice, Brian Cogman, and Dave Hill. The executive producers of the series are David Benioff, D.B. Vice, Caroline Strauss, Frank Dolger, and Bernadette Caulfield. Co-executive producers are Brian Cogman, Gaiman Cassidy, Vince Giradis and George R.R. Martin. Show creators DB Weiss and David Benioff announced in March of last year that Season 8 was given the go-ahead. They also decided that the final season in the franchise would be shorter than usual, consisting of only 6 episodes. Filming for Season 8 began in October 2017 for a 2019 release, but the lengthy production time, combined with the shorter run and bigger budget, have led some fans to speculate whether or not this could result in the release date being brought forward. Maisie Williams tweeted recently that a quote on the release date of Season 8 was completely false and taken from an interview she did years ago. She wrote on Twitter, "Just a tweet letting you know this Game of Thrones release date quote I've supposedly given is completely false and taken from an interview I did years ago. When will the Game of Thrones spin-offs be released?" The first official photo from Game of Thrones final season is here. Get exclusive details on the most impossible finale in TV history in our report from the got set. T.go weblink pic.twitter.com weblink Entertainment Weekly. At November 1st, 2018 will Jon Snow reveal his true identity in Game of Thrones Season 8 ? This seems highly likely, but he'll have to find out first about his true parentage. There's been a new fan theory suggesting that Jon Snow will be revealing his true identity at some point in the final series. Jon's real heritage is set to pose problems for his romance with his aunt Daenerys, whom he unknowingly slept with. But there have been other theories about the character, and some fans think that Jon Snow's ending has been revealed in a shocking photo after star Kit Harington shared a snap on social media. Jon Snow is apparently going to be in an epic battle in Game of Thrones Season 8. While not a theory as such, Game of Thrones fans have noticed that Jon Snow's lineage was hinted at in Season 1, and there could be other clues in the previous seasons as well. Entertainment Weekly has revealed that Jon Snow will be returning to Winterfell and could be getting a big shock from Bran Stark. Game of Thrones fans are well aware of Jon Snow's true heritage now, but there was a hint in Season 6 that many fans missed out on before the huge reveal. The clue to Jon's Targaryen parentage was alluded to when he was called the White Wolf by one character. What will happen in Game of Thrones Season 8? Here are all the latest theories and rumors. Jon Snow is going to destroy the Iron Throne and end the constant power struggle, according to one new theory. Richard Madden has spoken about how he thinks Game of Thrones is going to end, suggesting the final will be brutal and everyone will. Season 7 was one of the most jam-packed runs of the show to date. In an effort to wrap up some storylines, the show abandoned any sense of timing, geography and distance and crammed in as much as possible. While that's not to say it wasn't enjoyable, it was a little disappointing for some fans, when previous seasons had really emphasized the sheer scale of westerns and SOs, and the difficulties that this caused many characters. However, Season 7 also brought us confirmation of the huge fan theory about Jon Snow's parentage. R+L=J, that is, Rhaegar Targaryen, Daenerys' brother, and Lyanna Stark, Ned Stark's sister, are in fact his father and mother, and they were married. This means he is not a bastard and the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, ahead of Daenerys, played by Emilia Clarke. There have been hints that Daenerys Targaryen could win the throne after a hint about the ending. Following the release of the Season 8 teaser, there have been suggestions of how will the Night King will as a new wall takes shape. Game of Thrones director David Nutter has spoken about a plot hole after he was questioned by fans recently. Jason Momoa has hinted at a return for his character Khal Drogo, which might not be outside the realms of possibility. Game of Thrones fans have come up with a new theory that major creatures from the books will be turning up in the show. A new theory has suggested that one family could snatch the throne from Daenerys in Game of Thrones Season 8. Game of Thrones fans think they've figured out the truth about Daenerys Targaryen's downfall. Euron Greyjoy has dropped a teaser about Season 8 in a recent interview. Although he couldn't reveal too much, he said that the final season would be the best yet. Some fans have been suggesting that Bran Stark's real identity has been exposed and it's not the Night King. A new theory suggests that Jon Snow and Sansa Stark will be divided in the Game of Thrones Season 8 finale. There's been a brand new theory that suggests Daenerys will lose her claim to the Iron Throne. Maisie Williams most recently dropped a bombshell about her final scenes as Arya Stark in the last season of Game of Thrones. Sansa Stark star Sophie Turner recently spoke about the ending of Game of Thrones and admitted it was hard to accept the conclusion to the story. Turner also spoke about the crazy secrets surrounding the show as program makers tried to keep plot points under wraps. Sergio Mormont star Ian Glenn has teased monumental set pieces in Season 8, which could be feature-length. A huge character is confirmed to be returning for the final season, which may come as a surprise to some fans. There have been further hints that Jon Snow could betray Daenerys in Season 8. Arya Stark's fate has apparently been altered due to one tiny detail, which could have a big effect on her. Peter Dinklage has been teasing fans again with the theory that Tyrion is a Targaryen after he mentioned it at the Emmys. A new rumor suggests that Ned Stark could return for the last season of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones Season 8 leaks a new interview with Kit Harington. The star seemed to give away some details from the finale. A new theory has emerged suggesting a romance between Tyrion Lannister and Daenerys Targaryen, which flies in the face of the Jon Snow romance. There has been a theory that Jaime Lannister could, after Nicolaj Coster-Waldau dropped a hint. Fans have come up with a new theory about Brienne of Tarth and her final destiny in the show. In perhaps the biggest twist yet, some think that Littlefinger could be back from the dead in Season 8. Some fans have been again suggesting that Khal Drogo could be back to help his son and stars in the final season. While not a plot point, fans desperately want Jon Snow and Daenerys to get a happy ending at the close of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones fans think they've spotted a hint from Season 2 that alluded to Jon Snow's death later on in the show. Fans have been theorizing that Daenerys will actually end up marrying Jorah Mormont rather than Jon Snow in a shocking twist. Richard Madden, who played Robb Stark, suggested that Jon Snow would be the one to save the day in a surprising revelation. But fans think that it could be Tyrion who takes down the Night King in Season 8. While we don't know exactly what will happen yet, cast members have been teasing details from the upcoming run, with Missandei star Nathalie Emmanuel hitting that the finale will be heartbreaking. Meanwhile, it looks like Rhaegar Targaryen will be returning for more flashback scenes. Maisie Williams has hinted that Cersei and the Night King will be plotting together. Game of Thrones fans have been speculating that Daenerys has a secret plan for the Dothraki, which could have an impact on Season 8, while a theory has now emerged that suggests that Jon Snow has a twin. If he does have a twin, this could really shake things up in Game of Thrones and also bring into question the line of succession, which is already tricky enough. Mark Gatiss has confirmed that he's not going to be in the Season 8 finale, but the Iron Bank will play an important role. Most recently, fans have been speculating about the time jump theory that seems to confirm Jon Snow will be saved. The theory takes its cue from the novels of George R.R. Martin and surmises that the former Lord Commander of the Night's Watch will survive. Some fans think that Tyrion Lannister's plan has been exposed, with betrayal on the cards. Sophie Turner recently announced that there will be betrayals in the finale of Game of Thrones, which suggests Sansa could go behind Jon Snow's back. Meanwhile, some fans have been speculating that Jon Snow will Daenerys. There have been theories that Season 8 could see a time jump, which shouldn't be surprising considering it's the last run. One of the most recent theories suggests that it will be Jon Snow and Bran Stark together who will defeat the Night King. The makers of Game of Thrones have been leaving clues about the show since the beginning, with a hint about Jon Snow given in Season 1. Maisie Williams recently revealed on social media that she'd finished her seasons on Season 8 and shared a shot of a bloody-looking pair of shoes. She captioned the Instagram snap, "Goodbye Belfast. Goodbye Area. Goodbye Game of Thrones. What a joy I've had. Here's to the adventures to come. Last woman standing. Barely. I'm asleep for the next 4 years. Just kidding, you don't sleep." Her post suggested that Arya will make it to the end of the show even though the body count will be high. Nevertheless, in a further twist, Cersei Lannister actress Lena Headey seemed to confirm that Arya would sit on the Iron Throne after she commented underneath the image "Queen. There has some significant damage on the King's Landing set," suggesting that the Night King could destroy the capital in the final battle of Season 8. Sophie Turner has hinted that the final season will feature the most deaths ever. There have been new theories that Cersei Lannister will have a shock victory in Season 8. Now fans are wondering if the lesser-known Alanna Tyrell will be returning to claim the Iron Throne. Season 8 will focus how the characters deal with this revelation. Will Jon, Kit Harington, and Dany continue their alliance? Or will Dany still be determined to sit on the Iron Throne? There have been hints that Daenerys could, after actress Clarke was nowhere to be seen in a huge scene in Season 8. Most recently, one Game of Thrones director hinted at more scenes between the two relatives despite being aunt and nephew. There have been suggestions that Daenerys Targaryen could be defeated after fans spotted a supposed plot hole. Along with that, there have been theories that Khal Drogo, Jason Momoa, could finally be back for one more slice of the action, which could spell trouble for Daenerys. Others have speculated that the Night King has a plan of propaganda and that he's not just destroying everything. The final season will also contain new material from the two unfinished and unpublished A Song of Ice and Fire novels, The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring, but we know for sure that things will come to a head with the Night King, Vladimir Furdik, and there is of course a terrifying White Walker dragon to contend with now. A new fan theory has suggested that Jaime Lannister may actually sacrifice himself to save Jon Snow after he learns the truth about his parentage. Game of Thrones looks set to be seeing the return of the creepy Robin Arryn, Lino Facioli, who has been slated to drive apart Sansa and Arya. One thing seems certain, Cersei Lannister will win the last season, and there's been speculation that she will be in the Dragon Pit after the Game of Thrones crew was spotted filming there. A new theory has suggested that Jon Snow will never sit on the Iron Throne due to a loophole involving the Night's Watch. Some have suggested that Jon could face heartbreak with Daenerys' life on the line in the perilous final season. According to the theory, the Mother of Dragons, who previously thought she was infertile, will fall pregnant after her liaison with Jon. Sadly, she will perish in childbirth, but her babies will live. Another theory again suggests that Dany will perish in Game of Thrones Season 8 by making the ultimate sacrifice. Meanwhile, Gendry could also be getting head off after actor Jodie Dempsey recently spoke about working on Season 8. Recently Sophie Turner seemed to drop a huge hint about the fate of the Starks, the house that all fans are rooting for. Game of Thrones Season 8 episode count. There have been suggestions that Bran Stark is the third dragon rider in the three-headed dragon theory. In Season 1 she was told that only death can pay for life, and it looks like she could sacrifice herself to save Westeros. There have been further suggestions that it will be Bran Stark rather than Jon or Daenerys who will sit on the Iron Throne in the end. The three-eyed raven has been given nods by the bookmakers. placing him just behind the duo as the favorite to rule Westeros. A new theory has suggested that the Night King is Azor Ahai and that he was transformed thousands of years ago during the first long night. We can also expect there to be some epic battle scenes, like the Battle of the Bastards from Season 6 and Hardhome from Season 5. A recent theory from fans has suggested that the legendary warrior to save the world will be Samwell Tarly, John Bradley, who will be the second coming of Azor Ahai. However, Sam will have to her lover Gilly, Hannah Murray, in order to fulfill the prophecy. One thing that seems to be certain is that there will be a lot of deaths in the last run of Game of Thrones. The cast reportedly broke down in tears through a Season 8 read-through as multiple characters were read off. On top of that, it looks like the Stark ancestral home of Winterfell will become a focal point, with recent images showing the castle on fire on set. It's not known whether the castle will be attacked by White Walkers or Cersei's troops. There have been suggestions that Season 8 will see Westeros become a democracy after Daenerys wins the Iron Throne. Despite the blaze at the Winterfell set, there have been suggestions that the home of the Starks won't be completely razed to the ground. A new clip emerged showing that the set was still standing and filming taking place. Along with the Winterfell set, fans have spotted another new set being built. This time a tower, which hints that we could see new locations in Season 8. Harington has also been seen filming in Dubrovnik, Croatia with Lena Headey, who plays Cersei Lannister. The images have left fans trying to figure out why the characters are working together. Will these shots come shortly before the Mad Queen betrays the loyal and trusting Jon? Sir Davos Seaworth star Liam Cunningham recently suggested that fans could expect a bittersweet conclusion to Game of Thrones. He cryptically told RTE Entertainment, George R.R. Martin, writer of the original books, described the end as bittersweet, and it is. A new fan theory has emerged, suggesting that Cersei Lannister could be betrayed by the Iron Bank when Daenerys flies to meet them on the back of a dragon. In an interview, Nathalie Emmanuel has hinted that Daenerys could also betray Jon Snow in her bid for the Iron Throne. The production has returned back to King's Landing after fans spotted lots of activity around the set in Northern Ireland. The castle set appeared to be half demolished, suggesting that the scenes featuring the Night King and his onslaught on the capital is being filmed at the moment. Fans have spotted a brand new set which was built near the Castle Black One in Magaramorn Quarry, which is much bigger than some of the others. There's been some speculation that this huge new set could be site of a big battle which is still yet to be filmed. It's plausible given that Daenerys has had such visions previously of the throne room covered in ash, hinting at a possible dragon attack. Many are also fairly sure that she will be Ed in the last run and that her brother and lover Jaime Lannister will be the one to do the deed. However, a new theory has emerged that hints that it could be Euron Greyjoy, Baelu Aspec, who is Cersei and tries to take the Iron Throne. Other theories have suggested that it will be Jon, who destroys the Mad Queen in a final battle for Westeros. Perhaps the biggest battle will involve the White Walkers against mankind, the ultimate fight between ice and fire. Lots of fans have been speculating that Bran